Success culture relies on a specific image, a high-energy speaker gesturing on a brightly lit stage, promising that a shift in attitude solves every problem. They teach us to wait for a feeling, motivation, to drive our actions. This approach works when life is stable. A burst of inspiration can push through a difficult afternoon or a stagnant project. The logic fails during a total life wipeout. When every pillar of your existence is removed at once, the hustle philosophy offers no actual mechanics for recovery. At absolute rock bottom, your nervous system is in shock. Expecting yourself to generate fire or passion is biologically unrealistic. Rick Munchau experienced this collapse in layers. He stood at his sister's funeral while blood clots filled his own lungs, the same condition that had just killed her. His recovery involved a spinal fusion from C2 to T2. 7 vertebrae were locked together, leaving him in a wheelchair and a rigid neck brace, facing partial paralysis. Simultaneously, the industry he dominated as a top sales closer evaporated. He went from the #1 position to zero income in 30 days. This depletion represents the frozen zone. When physical energy is capped at exactly 2 hours per day and grief is a constant weight, standard productivity tools are useless. Surviving this state requires treating recovery as a mechanical engineering problem. You have to remove emotion and focus on the cold physics of movement. Rebuilding begins with absolute clarity. You have to see your situation exactly as it is, without the padding of false hope. From a hospital recliner, Rick stripped the situation down to a binary choice. He would either die in that room, or he would build a new path. He used truth as a weapon. This meant acknowledging that his old career was dead and that no one was coming to provide a rescue. Severing the illusion of a safety net is the only way to break paralysis. Once you accept that you are entirely on your own, forward momentum becomes the only logical survival strategy. The challenge was reconstructing a life with only 120 minutes of daily energy. Rick implemented a 2-inch action system. A minuscule 15-minute input triggers a compounding wave of momentum. If your finances are frozen, don't build a 5-year plan. Spend 15 minutes finding $5. That small action cracks the paralysis. Most people wait to feel ready before they move. In a rebuild, you move specifically because you don't feel ready. Structure creates movement, and movement eventually creates the feeling of motivation. The sequence is non-negotiable. The next major structural hurdle is scaling. You cannot grow in income if your model requires the builder to physically show up for 8 hours a day. Rick transitioned into building a health-adaptive business. The linear time for money loop breaks, replaced by circular, self-sustaining tracks. He built side hustles functioning through AI. These systems keep executing, even when the creator goes offline to rest. This sequence, moving from a $5 saving habit to automated digital side hustles, eventually formed the architecture for RCM Digital Media, an agency that was built entirely within those 2-hour daily windows. Resilience is the result of engineering rigid systems that execute their tasks regardless of the builder's physical state. Today, that blueprint has transformed into a towering digital structure. Rick's unkillable ecosystem now supports a community of survivors using these same mechanical rules. Stripping away the emotion transforms rock bottom into a structural starting point. A resilient life is built on brutal honesty, micro-actions, and automated systems that work when the person behind them cannot. Stop waiting for life to calm down. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to feel ready. Start today. Identify one frozen zone. Take a 15-minute, 2-inch action. Build anyway, because if you are breathing,